Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Sasheen. Welcome to our Thursday video and Women in Transition vlogcast. If you are new to the channel, I'm Dr. Sasheen, your host, your guide, and your all around boat lifter. Because around here, we're trying to lift each other's boats through the transition of the Gen X years into our next best chapter. So, welcome to Thursdays. I'm glad to see you. Today, I want to talk to you about why I need for you to do something for me. I need you to do me a favor, and I hope that you'll stick around for the whole video and give me some feedback on how you're going to do this favor for me because I think it's really important. And I wouldn't ask if I didn't need it from you. So give me a few minutes of your time to talk about what I want you to do, and then I'll tell you how to do it for me. So I woke up and I don't like mornings. I am literally, you could do it, we could do anything after 10 o'clock, and I'm probably going to be okay. Before that, I'm not really your best friend. And I think that's okay because I don't actually have to be a morning person to exist in the world pretty successfully. I've managed to navigate not being a morning person for most of my whole life after getting out of, primary school. Because then they force you to go to school at certain times, and then there's that whole corporate job thing that you sometimes have to get into a certain schedule. But even then, depending on what you do for a living, you don't actually have to do mornings if you don't really want to do mornings. You just have to pick careers where mornings are fluid, and I love a fluid life. So I don't really do mornings. So I have to find ways to make mornings more palatable for me. And I'm not to get out of bed and shake it all off and wiggle it all away and it's great. No, I'm a slow morning person. I need for it to be quiet so that I can get my bearings. Since I started wearing glasses, I need a chance for my eyes to adjust since my eyesight has decided to do some weird things as I'm getting older. Um, I need it to be I don't care if it's sunny or overcast, but my room is dark anyway. So whatever, I've got, blinds down. I don't have blackout shades. I don't mind knowing that the world outside is getting brighter because the sun has come up. It doesn't phase my sleep patterns at all. So I don't need a sleep mask. I don't need blackout shades. It just so my body's rhythm doesn't go, oh my gosh, the sun's coming up. You should wake up. It completely is like, nope, it is not time yet. It's not time yet. So last night I was working on some things. And as the night gets longer, this is how I've always been. As the night starts to get later, my energy actually starts to rise. And so because I right now I have an early morning commitment 4 days a week, it's very hard for me to get my body to adjust back to going to bed at a decent enough hour because I also need my sleep. I'm a girl who's gonna get her sleep. But you have to get your body adjusted to a schedule that it's not naturally used to. And I find that when I have to adjust this, even though I can do it for a whole year, which I did last year, did the exact same thing, it's never comfortable. I never wear it well. So they say if you do something for, at least 6 weeks, it becomes a habit, you become more used to it. But that doesn't mean that you like it. It just means that you have to do it, so you just become used to doing it. So, anyway, last night I was working and my energy just starts to gently rise. It doesn't shoot up, it starts to gently rise. I get a little more clarity as the evening progresses, and especially around what we like to call the witching hour of midnight, right? Between 11 and 2, I can actually get a lot done because I feel like my day is really starting to wind down, but I've got this, and I've done all the stuff of the morning and the afternoon and the evening and the family. And now my brain's like, oh, I can totally get some stuff done. I can read at this time. I can do some work at this time. I can work on some projects. I can do some writing, but I have to go to bed because I have to get up and I need my sleep. So there's this push pull, there's this tension that comes with this life right now, because I have certain responsibilities that require me to be up and fully functional, not just up and semi-functional, but up and fully functional by pretty early in the mornings. Yet I have a body system, a rhythm, a circadian rhythm that is like, but we don't really start settling down until 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning because that's just when my body feels like, okay, this is a good time for me to go to sleep. Well, I gotta get up like in 5 hours. That does not work. So there's this tension, right? This push pull. in my schedule right now. And so I was thinking about this, how people navigate that push-pull tension, especially as you get to the place. Sorry, there's just something in my eye right there. Thank you. Hopefully I got it. Especially as we get to this phase in our lives, right, where we have choices that we want to make because our lives are in this transition. If you're going through the change, you got all kinds of stuff happening too, right? So there's so many things happening as we are transitioning through this period of life from, you know, mid to late 40s, early 50s, looking at another 20 possible years, maybe 30 years in the workforce. If you're in the workforce or working, let's just say working, but you also have aging parents, you might have younger children or children that are heading into adulthood, and then there's you, and you have a rhythm to your life that is being push pulled, right? There's a tension that seems to be permeating a lot of things, and some of it is the natural tension of just where we are. Some of it is some additional tension because of circumstances beyond our control, and I think it's disingenuous for um people who are in the space of talking about current events or even coaching people on how to navigate life right now, to not acknowledge the fact that the world has changed in such a significant way that the normal things that would be causing us to have some tension, that push pull feeling of I've got this responsibility, but then I have these desires and these needs and I'm trying to fulfill as well. And over the top of that lays this thing, this patina that kind of has, I would argue, has dulled in some ways, dulled our appreciation of what's of the life that we've been living. And I don't want that to sound, well, actually I do want that to sound as serious as it sounds. Because I think one of the things that has happened in the past year, especially in the past year, is that Gen X, like ladies, we always knew that the change was coming and that our lives are going to start to look a little bit different. We're going to have to make some adjustments to figure out how to navigate through some of the physical changes, some of the mental changes, some of the emotional changes, possibly some of the financial changes if this is the time where you're trying to shift careers, start something new, wind something out, right? There's always going to be this kind of time period for us. But then here came this kind of explosion into the world, maybe not so much an explosion, just a inevitable consequence of bad decision making, into the world that has laid over the top of our already tumultuous experience this blanket, this wet blankety feeling like you can't get it off your body. And that's what I was thinking about last night as I was working, which is I don't like mornings, but I get up and I do them, and I love the fact that once I'm done with the morning stuff that I have to do, because I have to be up pretty early to do it, there's this gap in my day before my family gets up, because I'm up pretty early, before my family has to get up, and our day goes and shifts into the other stuff that I take care of all day long. And then, the evening stuff of life and dinners and family time, and then the work that I do at night. There's this space to breathe in there in that morning, and so I try to utilize that. I try to find the joy in the mornings in those pockets of spaces that I wouldn't otherwise have because I'd be asleep. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be wide awake anyway. I'd be sound asleep, having tiptoeing through dreamland, working out my own issues in my subconscious. But because I'm awake and once I'm done with what I need to do, I'm not gonna go back to sleep. I find these pockets of joy. I'll have a cup of tea. I may journal. I may meditate. I might exercise, get some gentle stretching in if I can. Just depends on how much time I have. But I made a commitment since I had to do this schedule that I would find ways to infuse it with a little joy moments here, because otherwise it just feels like it. Not only does it feel like work, it feels like a weighty work, right? A very much a weight. Here's the problem that I think a lot of people are running into. The joy of things is being dulled by the weight of reality. And I think it's because a lot of people can't see we can't see the joy in what's coming, because what's coming looks a lot like what is, and what is not fun. It's not promising, it's not full of possibilities, it's just wait. And when what's coming feels like just more weight, even more oppressive weight, the joy in that future, now all of a sudden, what used to feel like, oh, well, we can weather any storm feels like the storm may never end. The storm may never end. What? But it's supposed to end. I'm supposed to be able to look ahead and go, okay, well, this moment is hard, but eventually this is going to end. Like this schedule that I'm on right now is hard. It sucks. I hate it, but it's eventually going to end. I don't have to do this forever, which is why it's okay to do it for now because I don't have to do it forever. It's a commitment. It's a time commitment. It's a slice of life commitment that I'm just getting through because I needed to get to the other side of something else. But I don't have to do it forever. And to be perfectly frank with you, if I choose to quit doing it now, I'm gonna quit doing it now. But I made a commitment that I have no issues keeping because I made the commitment and it pays. That's it. But I recognize that it is a commitment that I don't like to make and I don't appreciate the constraints it puts on me in certain ways. I probably won't do it again, right? That is a good place to be in, a recognition that in the future in the future that's coming, I'm not I'm going to make different choices, different decisions so that I don't have to make this decision again. Right? Okay. So that's the beauty of this moment for me. I don't have to make this decision, but in order to not have to keep making this decision, I need to do some things different so that this decision does not become an option for me anymore. Perfect. What happens when that doesn't feel like it's true though? And I think for so many of us right now, for so many women, for so many people, it doesn't feel like the options that are coming are better than the ones that are currently here. And the one that is here ain't great. It ain't great. So how do you move it out of the way so that you can see clearly again? Options for your future, options for your moment, options that take this moment and go, I'm not going to live this one again. So let me make some different choices and feel the optimism that the choices that you can make will lead you back to or onto a better path. Because I think what I'm hearing is a lot of people feel like the future no longer holds the promise that it used to. It just feels like it holds the weight of more of the same moment over and over and over again. And it doesn't have to, but I appreciate people who are articulating that reality that it's not that we're given up. It's not that people are necessarily not concerned. It's just the weight of this moment is oppressive. That's what oppression is. It is the weightiness of the moment bearing down so hard that you lose sight that the future can be anything other than the moment because it feels like it can't be because the weight is so heavy. So I said to you in the beginning that I was going to ask a favor of you, that I needed you to do something for me. And here we are. I need you to do something for me. And it might be hard today, but if you do it for me every day, I think it'll start to get easier. I need for you to find your joy. I need for you to find the thing that lights you up about the present and that used to light you up about your future. I need for you to stop thinking that the oppressions of the moment are permanent. They might be systemic, and by systemic, that means they might last longer than you want them to, but they're not permanent because you still have choices. And as long as you still have choices, that means you could still make choices. And I need you to start making some choices. I need you to choose joy. I need for you to stop looking at the future as a constant straight line of oppression for the next 3 years and start looking at your future as I have options around which I can build my existence outside of this oppressive structure. How do you do that? There are many ways to do that. For some people, it's creating their life in another country. For others, it's getting involved in their community, the community level, in ways that they never have before, connecting with other people in the community so that the joy that you seek is also bolstered by the joy others are also seeking to make your communities better. It's the same for people who are choosing to transplant themselves in another country. The joy that they are seeking, they're going to seek out other people who are also seeking that same kind of joy. I need you to decide where your joy lies and then go after it fiercely and take no prisoners and offer no apologies. Rule one, your peace being non-negotiable, isn't it doesn't work if you negotiate away your future. It doesn't work if you're willing to negotiate away the joy that sustains you. We can't be peaceful under oppressive circumstances. We have to actively say, you might be in charge right now, but I'm in charge of me. I'm in charge of me. And so since I'm still in charge of me and this ain't 1492, you're going to have to deal with the me that is 2025 me. Okay, because the world isn't as small as a thimble anymore, and I don't require your permission to keep existing in it in a good way, because that's part of what oppression does, right? It strips you of the belief that you have any choice in how you exist in the world, that you simply must exist under oppression because that is all that is available to you. No, it is not all that is available to you. So I need you to make the commitment to find your joy today. I need for you to look around at the craziness that is happening and remember where your joy comes from. I am not a religious person. I was raised in religion, but I am no longer a religious person, but I'm a highly spiritual human being. And I recognize that I am a part of things bigger than myself, that the very things that make up the universe, the stars that we see outside, exist in the cells of my body. Carbon, right? Atoms, electrons. Like I am literally just like the stars with a lot of water added into it, right? It's melanin on the skin. But I remind myself in the darkest moments when I am trying to remember that I not only am responsible for my joy, but I'm responsible for myself. And yes, the systemic issues that are in play are there to oppress and keep a lot of people down, but you can't steal my joy because it was never yours to begin with. In those moments, I am reminded that when I look out into the world, I am literally made of the same stuff that allowed that tree to bloom out there. Like we don't share the same DNA, but we share the same building blocks of life. That for me gives me a level of, okay, all right. So since you can't control that aspect of me, I don't have to let you control any other aspects of me. So let me break it down to you for you in some really practical ways. Say you're lost your job, 300,000 Black women and more people losing their jobs all the time. The government is currently shut down. If you work for the government, you don't have a paycheck. I live in a complex. I love living in my apartment complex, but they sent out a notification saying, "Hey, if you are a government employee, we know that you or are military. We know that you're not getting paid. Please come to the office. Please bring us, your documentation so that we can help you not lose your home." Right? Like if you're in the throes, and we're all in some way, whether it's a little bit or a lot, in the throes of this moment of oppression together, here's what I need for you to do. Go outside. Nobody owns the air. Nobody owns the grass. Well, somebody might think they own the grass, but they don't. Go to the animal shelter and pet a dog or a cat or cuddle with a kitty cat or bunny. If that's all you can, if that's the only thing that you can do, go find somebody else's joy, something else's joy, because pets love you, right? They just love you. If you can't find your joy, go help somebody else find their joy and you'll find yours too. If you can't find your belief that you have choices, go help somebody else find their choices and you'll start to see your own. If you can't see how to plug the holes right now in your own boat, go help somebody else plug their boat and you'll remember, "Oh, I know how to mix tar. I know how to patch a hole. Wait a second, I have skills." We are reminded of who we are sometimes by helping other people remember who they are. And so if you can't find your joy in your choices and your path forward, maybe you need to help others find their joy and their path forward. And this is not me telling you to get into toxic relationships because I'm team get the hell away from people who are toxic. This is why I started with go to a shelter and cuddle a puppy or a kitten because pets just love you. Animals just want someone to take them for a walk and play fetch and rub their bellies. But the act of giving a piece of you to something or someone allows you to remember that you have pieces of you that are totally fine to give away, that don't cost your core anything, and in fact help you remember who you are. So that is your assignment. Your assignment for the rest of the weekend, your assignment for today, for Thursday, for today, is to find your joy. And if you cannot find your joy, go help somebody else find their joy. Go listen to a child talk about their favorite thing that you may have zero interest in. But man, when somebody's listening to a kid and they know that they have your full attention on this thing that they're chattering about, their little eyes light up. They get really excited. They just want someone to listen. And it costs you nothing except your attention and some of your time, which you were going to spend moping about because you couldn't find your joy anyway. So you might as well go help somebody else find their joy in the moment. And then you get reminded, oh, wait a second. Okay. I just spent 20 minutes talking to some teenager about something I know nothing about, but gosh darn it, for 20 minutes, I was not stressed. I had found my peace and my center again. Let me take that feeling and bring it back into my day and bring it back into my life so that I can remember who I am and find the joy that I might have been missing. These are tough times. I don't sugarcoat that in any way, shape, or form. But these times are not hitting everyone the same. So if you see someone off on a plane who's like, I'm out, don't look at them and be like, how dare you go away and feel like you can just find something better someplace else. Baby, the grass is greener on the other side. You standing on AstroTurf. Who are you complaining to? At the same time, don't yell at folks who are out there in um cow and frog costumes in front of facilities protesting. Don't say that's ridiculous and no, that's not, you're not moving the needle. You ain't moving no needles either. So what are you complaining about? Quit trying to find reasons for other people's joy to be a problem and look to see how your joy is showing up. How is your joy showing up? Because you cannot find your peace from an empty well, and you sure can't dip your peace from a well of bitterness, right? You can't dip into the well of bitterness and pull out peace. So we need to change the water in the well, find your joy, remember who you are, remember this is might be systemic, but it doesn't have to be permanent, and that you have choices. So I hope for you today that you get to make choices today that bring the joy back into your life tomorrow. This is Dr. Sasheen. Please click like, subscribe, and share. I'm gonna get that right one day. Yeah, I know I will. Click like, subscribe, and share so that you can get the next video that's coming up. Join us on Tuesdays when we go live for about half an hour, 40. We're getting a little long there, 40 minutes of tea break where we just get together, we chit chat. We're building a community of people, of women mostly, but of people, but especially of women who are looking to find a little peace, a little joy, but most importantly, a place where the drama and the trauma that people insist on inflicting upon us is not allowed. If you're looking for something like that, we meet on Tuesdays live on YouTube. It's called the Tea Break. Turn on notifications so that you can come join us if you get the chance. Schedule us in. We're kind of a fun crowd. If you need anything from me, you know how to reach all the things, all the books, all the sessions. Otherwise, I gotta go. So I'll talk to you soon. This is Dr. Sasheen. Have a good one.